Welcome back to the Runaround. I'm your co-host, Greg Jubb, alongside Aaron Lockwood here in the booth. Today we're talking about the recent Olympic marathon trials and speaking with some local elite athletes who qualified for this prestigious competition. We just got off the phone with Ricky Flynn, who placed 12th at the trials. And now we have the 2008, the 2009, the 2010 U.S. 50K champion, Michael Wardian, on the phone. And only mentioning that he was the U.S. 50K champion will not do this man justice as a runner.
Absolutely not.
He has competed in the Badwater 135-miler, among other competitive ultramarathons. And most recently, he ran the Olympic trials for the marathon as well. Michael, thanks for being on the Runaround.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
So, Michael, you ran a 2:21 at the trials with some of the best runners in the nation. What did you think of that race?
I thought it was great. Yeah, I saw Ricky there, too.
Yeah, local guys, right? Representing the area when they go to the trials. I think that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's always a pleasure to be on the starting line with the best guys in the country. I mean, there was, I think, maybe 150 guys qualified and 112 guys lined up, and I think only 85 guys finished. So everybody, ran their guts out, and it was just cool to be a part of it.
And actually, if you were watching it on NBC, you were right at the starting line towing it for the start of the race. So that must have been pretty exciting to see yourself live with all the elites such as Ryan and Meb. And what was that like?
On national TV.
On national TV, yes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it's actually been my third trials. So I ran in 2004 and 2008, and I've got to run against those guys a couple times. And so, I've actually had the chance to line up with them before. So, it was more just kind of being out there and just being a part of it and just getting to see the crowd. And, you figure
Absolutely.
Everyone earned the right to stand on that line, so you might as well go up there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then, as if the trials weren't enough, you come back the next day and run the Houston Marathon. What possesses you to do that?
Yeah, I did. I like to challenge myself, and I thought that would be a good way to do it. I've done it a couple of times, and I was hoping to run a little faster with the back-to-back, but I banged up my heel a little bit on Saturday, and so I was dealing with some of that fatigue from the day before. But yeah, I ended up running like 2:31, and I think I ended up like 16th and like 13th male. So
right, and we actually wrote an
by
article.
a couple guys or a couple girls. I mean,
it's something else. You have some real strength, and we actually talk about it in an article that Aaron wrote on runningmaryland.com. So be sure to check that out. Go to runningmaryland.com and read the interview we had with Michael Wardian and Chrissy Ramsey as well. An interesting thing about you is that you never ran in college. You played lacrosse at Michigan State, so you came onto the running game very late. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I did. I was a lacrosse player. I was Division I at the time, so we got to play all the Maryland schools. Like we'd come down and play Navy and UMBC, and it was cool. So and then I just took up running. I went to my friend Vince Voisin's house and met his mom, Vicky Voisin. She had some pictures of the Boston Marathon on the counter, and I was like, I want to do that someday. And so I asked her if she could, point me in the right direction, and she ended up photocopying. I guess it was probably like a training book or something. And so
right.
I just did anything it told me to do. So like it'd say like Wednesday run 6 miles, and I would run 6 miles, and if it was snowing, 5 feet, I would still run 6 miles.
The dedication of a runner.
Yeah, well, I just knew like you had to qualify for the Boston Marathon, so I knew I had to run sub 3 hours and 10 minutes or something. And so my first marathon was Marine Corps, and I was lucky enough to qualify, and then I just went to Boston and I got hooked.
Wow.
Right, and you've run so many events, from 5Ks to 100-milers. You've gone across the globe. The U.S. 50K champion for 3 years in a row. You placed also
4 years, actually. I won last year, too.
Oh, very good. Well, we apologize for that. You got so many stats to pull about you, we don't know what to say. We don't have enough time on this radio show to talk about all the things you've done. But
no, it's pretty lucky. I've been able to do a lot of neat things, so that's cool.
So, but going off that, you've run so many events. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're all pretty cool, and they're all challenge you in different ways. I think if there was only one race that I had to run the rest of my life, it'd probably be a marathon, just because it's long enough to really challenge you, but it's kind of fast enough that you can finish it in the morning and get home and be back with the kids,
or do a race the next day.
Yeah, or do a race the next day.
Right.
So
You mentioned that your kids, you work full time and you're married with children. How do you find the time?
Well, I got a great place where I work. I work at an international ship brokerage, Potomac Maritime, and great clients that I work with. So, like, if I don't go, like, I wake up really early in the morning and get a run in, and then I ride my bike to work, and then I run again at lunch. And if I don't, and then I ride my bike home, and so, or run home. And so, if I don't go for like a run at lunch or something, my clients will be like, "Why? What are you tapering? What's going on?" So I'm lucky. I have a lot of buy-in from my family, and then also from my work, and then I have some great sponsors that allow me to go to events and really get to compete.
Well, I'd love to have your gas bill, my friend. Speaking of your sponsors, you're sponsored by North Face, correct?
Yeah, I got North Face is a big sponsor. MarathonGuide.com. Power Bar is also a sponsor, and those are some of the companies that really allow me to compete around the world and help make it all possible.
Right, and I know you run some North Face events where you run ultra marathons. What's physically the toughest event that you've run in your career?
I think it's a toss-up between, there's a race called the Marathon des Sables across the Sahara Desert where you have to carry all your food and gear for a week. and that's a really, really tough event. It's about 150 to 160 miles.
You probably won't be seeing Ricky Flynn there.
No, probably not.
You never know, man. I saw that kid after the trials, and he was doing a light swim workout afterwards.
Oh, he's very fit. He's very fit. Yeah, he's a dedicated athlete as well.
Yeah, he looked like an all-around stud. So, but yeah, the other thing was the Badwater Ultramarathon that I did last summer. That was just really hard, and it's 135 miles in Death Valley in July, and it's just challenging in a different way in that you have to deal with the heat, and then it's all 135 miles at one time and not in stages, and just kind of managing that along with your crew and the amount of calories you can intake over the course of the day.
And is it tough to train when you're running marathons, you're running 5Ks, and then you're training for events like that? How do you compromise your training to meet the needs of all of the preparations for these kind of events?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Like, I did the Comrades Ultramarathon last year, which is a big deal race in South Africa and two oceans. And then 3 weeks after that, I qualified for the Olympic trials in like 2:17. And then 3 weeks after that, I was running 135 miles in Death Valley. And so,
how does your body not break down? Like that is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think like last year I ran 48 events, I think, from 5Ks up to the Badwater, 135 miles.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I've been really blessed to be injury free, and I kind of try and specialize on certain events, and then you get a lot of cross training, not in the sense of like biking or something like that, but I mean like I feel like if you run the longer stuff, that can also help you with the shorter stuff, like the half marathon, marathon, and then vice versa.
Very cool. Well, best of luck to you for 2012. I'm sure your race schedule is already chock full. Congrats on all the big performances this year. And thanks for joining us on the Runaround.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, guys.
All right, and we'll talk to you soon. And like we said, runningmaryland.com. Check out the story. We talked to Michael Wardian and Chrissy Ramsey as well.